The situation here is really troubling.
Well, that's some residents there interacting with you, Kojo, but you also had the opportunity to interact with the Tema Mayor, Felix Niama, and he was talking about why there was no need for these railings on the road. Tell us more about that interaction you had with him.
Well, the mayor, who has been up all night with the members of NADMO conducting the rescue, was trying to explain that these barriers that would have prevented the car from going into the water are under the jurisdiction of the Roads and Highways Authority. And so, and he suggested that if it wasn't for the rain, there wouldn't actually be any problem with the fact that there is no barrier or the barrier is broken. Let's hear him.
If this place has not been blocked, it is not an issue at all. This is an accident, and it has happened because the driver cannot see his way clear. So let's accept it like that. We shouldn't apportion blames as to who is supposed to do what. And if not because of the rain, there is no way any driver will veer off the road and enter this. So
to be clear, what you are saying is that the fact that this place is not guarded is not an issue?
Because of the accident, if we have to do something about it, fine. But as you can see the vehicles moving, I don't think it's an issue. But because of what has happened, we have to take lessons of what has happened today and maybe do something about it. That is exactly what I was trying to say, that I will communicate with the Ghana Highway Authority, and so that together we look at what we can do.
So that's the Tema Mayor, Felix Ni Anangla, interacting with my colleague Kojo Yankson. We're following this issue closely. But linked to this problem also in that area is the Lashibi Ajay Kojo Ashaman Tunnel, which is inaccessible anytime it rains. The entire tunnel is engulfed by floodwaters, as was the case last night. Motorists and passengers are running out of patience as the Ashaman Municipal Assembly awaits the approval of 800,000 Ghana cedis by government for engineers to fix the tunnel and the dilapidated road linking the facility.
But I was complaining the other time, comparing East Legon tunnel to this place. I believe the ministers, even the president, they don't regard us. I believe votes comes here more than East Legon. And the poor people, we live here. So we are many more than the East Legon, those places. So they should do it here. Morning like this, you can't. It's very alarming. It's very bad. School children will be on queue for almost about 8 hours before going to school. So please, let them do something about it.
I've been using this road for quite, let's say, more than 10 years, and it wasn't like this before. But recently, it has become so bad. When it rains like this, cars hardly pass. Sometimes if I want to come and I charter a taxi, as soon as I just mention under bridge, they wouldn't want to come because of the way the road is very bad. Most of the cars that are small like this, when they pass through, water gets into the engines of them and spoil them. So they hardly come here when you request for them. And even if they will come, the amount they will charge you normally might be ×2 due to the water under the bridge. That's why. So I urge the government to really do something about this place because it's affecting us. Ashama Market is a main market and people do come here to shop every time. Today is market day. I came here. It wanted to rain, but thank God it didn't, or else I wouldn't have made it here today. So I just want the government to do something about this under Bridge Road. It's a major road. This is the only place that leads to Ashaman, so they should try and do something about it.
So it's not top na semwesi. Ni ejumai na krosu entimi ni ejume biom. Ofa monso ana iso ataka mu ayema enti sana omoye islegodia no e ko se penifo no omo sori waka na omo bra no mba maye ba ya ka nothing what ma say there traffic timechia na afedie edumai the whole day timikotu on because of the over adabridging.
Now, the Ashaman Municipal Engineer Daniel Efifa says the problem remains unresolved due to financial challenges.
The main problem is that when it rains, you see that all the rain go there to stack. So we want to do a curb and some drain other side so that when it rains, the rain can just get a place to pass, and then the road will be free for commuters to also use.
Engineer, this problem has been here time immemorial. Why is the problem not being fixed?
Well, the problem is not being fixed. You know, this is not the only problem we have in the municipality. We have a lot of issues regarding development. So it's one of the challenges, and I see it to be a financial commitment that we were not having as an assembly. But now that the central government has come in, it's beyond our budget, but now that the central government has come in, we are sure that very soon it will be resolved.
Well, you heard the Ashaiman Municipal Engineer, the Municipal Roads Engineer, Joseph Commodore, has assured the tunnel and other auxiliary works will be fixed immediately. The Assembly gets the approval for the cost involved. Meanwhile, the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, has described last night's deaths as regrettable.
This morning, I got information that on the motorway, there was a flooding aspect that claimed 4 lives. And we've heard other lives have also been claimed. And the honorable member for Kumbungu has also alluded to the situation in his constituency. Let me say that we want to express our condolences to the bereaved families and to assure that we will do whatever we can to assist the situation. Chairman, I think I agree with you that it's left with NADMO now to write to the various assemblies, drawing their attention to the menace of billboards. Although their chair, the DCEs, MDCEs chair them, it's not the case that they have information about all these things. So we'll need to write to them and we'll work together to see what we can do. But I believe that we're also working with the Ministry for Works and Housing about the areas that get flooded, and we will do our best to see what we can work out. But certainly we must say that it's regrettable that we are losing lives, and we're going to work hard. And we expect that this committee also plays part to support us in mobilizing resources for the NADMO. But for me, I'm going to work with the Ministry of Finance to see what support we can get for NADMO to be able to play its part in these difficult times. Thank you.
You heard that the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry. Now, I've been joined on the phone by the Greater Accra NADMO Director, Archibald Kobina. Thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News, Mr. Kobina. Exactly what is your official report concerning the flood-related deaths yesterday?
Well, I think that generally, good morning or good afternoon to yourself and your cherished listeners. Yesterday, we had calls from a couple of areas and some flooding situations within Accra. We experienced some flooding around the Adenta area. We had Fulani Dam, which overflowed its banks. We had issues from Agboba, Pure Water area, Shonman area, Adenta Commandos, and Ablekuma areas. The Gbese around Ablekuma West area, Kaneshi First Light, Paraku Estates, the Zamrama Line areas First Light, and quite a number of Pantan areas, Obojo, Jengayo, New Legon areas. The motorway and Ajekojo, I'm sure that you know what happened. The Lafa River, Santa Maria areas, a couple of areas within the Greater Accra region, we had flooding. The distress calls came in, and like we usually do, we quickly move in. And with the Director General himself being at the EOC, together with our Operations Director, Abu Ramadan, being at our Emergency Operations Center to ensure that they coordinate activities of all our operations team on the grounds, to coordinate what we on the grounds also were doing, and as well as our various districts to ensure that we move in to save lives and property. Quite unfortunately, like you've heard, we had some loss of lives. We had situation at Ajekojo where we had 3 people lost their life and 1 baby missing. That situation there, we had 1 loss of life at Adenta as well. And
so Mr. Kobina, to cut it all short, how many deaths exactly were recorded from last night? Because we know, adding what we recorded last week to what we have this week alone, we have 12 deaths. So, how many have you recorded, and has that baby been found?
Are you referring to this particular one?
Exactly, this particular one, and then the last one, sir.
6 dead and 1 missing baby. And we managed to save 4 people, rescue 4 people, 1 at Olobushi and 3 at Adenta as well.
Well, yeah, you heard the Greater Accra NADMO Director Archibald Kobina. We're grateful for your time. But let's stay with NADMO because the organization says it does not have resources for disaster relief as the flooding season begins. NADMO boss Nana Ajiman Prempeh told the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament a while ago they are saddled with a 34 million Ghana cedi debt and 28 court suits over debt incurred before 2017. He says money is being released to them from the Finance Ministry this year is being spent on debt payment, leaving them with no resources to deal with disasters as the rain sets in. Interior Minister Ambrose Derry confirmed NADMO doesn't have resources but assures government is committed to releasing funds when needed to help victims. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo is joining the Public Accounts Committee for that sitting and joins us on the line. So Joseph, what accounted for this debt troubling NADMO?
They say monies that had been spent before the NDC came into, the MPP government came, which hadn't been paid for, is what has made it impossible for them to prepare adequately when it comes to helping deal with various reliefs. The Interior Minister has been indicating that what has come to his attention is for different debts on the motorway, and that going forward they will be working with the Ministry of Works and Housing to ensure the necessary desilting. And even when it comes to the release of funds, he told us a while ago that he's headed to the Finance Ministry at the moment to ensure the necessary funds are released for that going forward.
34 million, which as I sit here right now, I have about 28 court cases. So we've been paying the debt. Because of that, we do not get much money to buy relief items currently. As we sit here this year, we've not been able to buy anything. But we still own 2016 and even the little we were able to do in 2017. So these are some of the problems. But I would say we don't have enough resources.
So you have wished that enough resources provided, you pay the debts and then also provide some level of amount for you to get some items ready. We are entering into the rainy season.
Yes.
Do we wait until there's a disaster before we start rushing to go and ask suppliers? And that will lead you to the issue about procurement.
Yes, yes.
Procurement problems.
Exactly so.
So the committee should recommend that we provide more resources for the agency, the NADMO.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
You heard that proceedings at the Public Accounts Committee when NADMO officials appeared before them. Let's stay a while longer on filth and flood-related issues. Year after year, efforts are made to rid the country of its filth, but just somehow, the filth manages to increase continually. Some areas, though, on a normal day may seem significantly clean till it rains, and the floods pull out the hidden waste from drainage. Well, Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapaah says government has allotted 197 million Ghana cedis to distill choked drains and other drainage works. She was speaking to the media during an inspection of some sites in Accra, from where Maxwell Agbagba joins us. Maxwell, bring us up to speed on what more the minister has been saying about the silting drains.
Well, the minister was not particularly happy about the insanitary conditions that persist in some areas. She believes part of the problem is attitude now. She says there are enough laws to deal with people found capable of disposing waste indiscriminately, and that the onus lies on the district assembly to ensure that they fully enforce the law. She says the outfit is working with the Environment Ministry on what can be done to curb the plastic menace.
It looks like we are having early rains, and the country must be prepared to go through this, I would say, force majeure. It is God that pours the rain, and we are very grateful for the rains. But unfortunately, rains can also cause havoc through flooding at unexpected places. If the floods get a way through to go into the sea, we don't have any problem. But when people get locked up in their homes as a result, then indeed we do have a problem.
That's the Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapaah. Meanwhile, there's an online petition which has started. It was actually started by former Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Development Authority, that's Ikuya Black Coffee, to ban plastics and keep Ghana clean. Already, some 13,000 people have appended their signatures out of the 15,000 required to deliver the petition to the Sanitation Ministry. Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, says government can't ban plastic bags until an alternative is found.
This is a very complex issue. We have to manage plastic. We don't consider plastic as a waste or filth as such, but it's a resource that can be utilized to create employment and to generate wealth. And so, in the first place, a ban can be considered, But that should not be the first thing, because already we have challenges. A lot of people, if we take sachet water, for example, because we have polluted our water bodies, people in our communities, especially in the mining areas, don't have access to the water because the water cannot be used for domestic purposes.
Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Now let's connect to get an insight on some African countries who have taken the initiative to ban plastic waste. First, Rwanda's capital, Kigali, has been ranked as Africa's cleanest city. But that didn't just happen. The people are making deliberate efforts to keep their streets and markets clean. Joy News' Matilda Bomaga traveled to Kigali and reports about how the enforcement on sanitation law has helped in dealing with the filth.
To many first-time or regular visitors to Rwanda, the common impression has been Kigali is the cleanest city. But at what cost has Kigali been green and clean, as seen in many reports? Many attribute this to the 2008 ban in the use of non-biodegradable polythene bags. Compliance to the law on the ban on plastics and sanitation is evident when you visit the markets and the malls. Instead of a rubber bag to keep your items, you are given a paper bag. Beyond the legislation, citizens see it as a taboo to litter.
Almost a culture of cleaning the community around the city or who are living the city. When they see waste around, they collect the waste and put it into the dustbin. And there is dustbin for degradable waste and non-degradable waste.
Ghana has these same laws, but what makes the Rwanda story unique is the enforcement and commitment on the part of citizens to uphold the law. Almost everyone in Kigali is responsible and takes part in keeping a clean environment. For example, every last Saturday of every month has been set aside for cleanliness in the country. Rongugo J. Diamo is the acting city engineer of Kigali.
Make sure that all the leaders from the top management of the country, leaders of the ministries, the leaders of the city, they all go out.
Do you force people to come out of their homes to clean?
What we do is not only forcing, but our strategy go hand in hand with campaigning.
Matilda Bomaga's report from Kigali, but what really happened to our situation in Accra. Every first Saturday we're supposed to be cleaning. But Benin is also following closely on the heels of Rwanda. Joy News' intern, Jean-Claudel Sinsogan, who is a Beninois, joins me in studio. So Jean, what does the law say and what are the sanctions in place in Benin?
Good afternoon. The law says any natural or legal person who uses a non-degradable plastic bag is liable to a fine ranging from 5,000 francs CFA to 100,000 francs CFA, which is approximately in the range of 50 cedis and 900 cedis.
Okay. But what are the alternatives to plastic bag and Benefix chalk since it was banned?
The other alternatives are you can either use reusable bags or biodegradable bags. And biodegradable actually means something that can break on its own. Mm-hmm. So I guess the Ministry of Sanitation have to do campaign of awareness to show people what is biodegradable bags and they can get used to it.
Jean-Claude, merci beaucoup.
Merci.
You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Still to come, Head of Business Programming at the Multimedia Group Limited, Emma Morrison, urges corporate Ghana to give more women the chance to take up top positions. We'll bring you a report on her journey to the top after being adjudged Corporate Personality of the Year at the 2019 Glitz Africa Women of the Year honors.
Aspire to move up, it's challenging, but I also want to encourage young upcoming women that they should put themselves forward and rise up to the challenge.
Hello there, my name is Araba Kumsin. I'm a producer of the Midday News. Now, it's that time of the year again for us to show love to our underprivileged brothers and sisters on the streets. Your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM, presents the annual Easter Soup Kitchen. This year, we warmly invite you to join us to feed, counsel, entertain, and provide medical aid to the less privileged in our society. we invite you to donate charitably towards the Joy FM Easter Soup Kitchen. You can do this in cash or in kind at the front desk of Joy FM Kokomuni. There's so much you can give. Bags of rice, bottles of cooking oil, soft drinks, cartons of chicken and fish, flour, pharmaceutical products, and many others. You can also call 0302 216 540 or 0244 663 968, and we will gladly pick up your donations from wherever you are. The Easter Soup Kitchen is powered by your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM, and supported by you, our loyal listeners.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports. Ridwan has the latest.
Yeah, of course, I've got the latest. And countries have begun strategizing for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt this June after Friday's classifications, which saw the Black Stars drawn in Group F alongside title holders Cameroon, Benin, and Guinea-Bissau. Head coach Kwesi Appiah intends to start preparations late next month for the tournament, and the Sports Ministry is ready to finance his program. Here is Deputy Sports Minister Perry Okudzeto, who doubles as Vice Chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee.
We're going to go off to Abu Dhabi as well to finish our arrangements for camp, and then
training tour.
Yes, and then head back to Accra. Then in Accra we continue with logistical preparation.
You heard Perry Okudzeto. There's more on the draw and preparations for the team at 1 p.m. on top of that with Gary Al Smith on the Joy Sports track.
And corporate Ghana is being urged to give more women the chance to take up top positions. The call is being made by the head of business programming here at the Multimedia Group Limited, Emma Morrison, after being honored as the Corporate Personality of the Year at the Glitz Africa Women of the Year honors held over the weekend. Here's a report of Miss Morrison's journey to the top.
Emma Morrison has worked extensively in the media in various capacities, starting as a junior reporter and anchor to becoming the manager for Foreign and International Affairs Desk to general manager for news and sports at TV3 Network Limited. From May 2013 to August 2015, Emma Morrison managed a 24-hour news and current affairs TV channel, Joy News, for the Multimedia Group. Currently, she holds the position as head of business news programming for the Joy News channel. Here's her take on the journey so far.
Transitioning from being a journalist into corporate and everything has been amazing. And I always tell people that don't stay the same, don't stay on one level, aspire to move up. You know, it's challenging, but I also want to encourage young upcoming women that they should put themselves forward and rise up to the challenge, and they can also make it.
Based on her experience, Madam Emma Morrison is now challenging the corporate world to give more women a chance to take up top positions.
A lot of women are doing amazing stuff. We have a lot of women now in the top positions, and I think that has inspired a lot of other young women, you know, to actually go in there, do their best, rise up to the challenge, and they're going to make it. But we also want, you know, the corporate world to give women a chance. Sometimes they don't give women a chance. Sometimes they just glance their way, and that is it. But we want the corporate world to give more women a chance.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklu.
And that's the story of Emma Morrison. Of course, she does inspire all of us. Congratulations once again, Miss Mo. And later on, we'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. The issue about the National Council for Curriculum Assessment defending introduction of basic school pupils to history involving J.B. Dankwa. Amidst concerns, the new program is an attempt to relegate the efforts of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to the background. I am MFA Apau. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Do enjoy your week.
Game over. Oh no, I lost again. Mommy, can you